What's up, everybody? I think we are live now. We dropped it a little bit earlier than I was going to go live tonight because a lot of stuff's happened, actually. And we've already got the content kind of planned for the end of this week. But starting next week, we do have some Daryl Brooks sightings that we're going to talk about. Some OnlyFans stuff happened in that Courtney Clenny case. And tonight, I didn't want to wait. I wanted to talk a little bit about Judge Scherer. The unusual Instagram Live. Yeah, we haven't done one of these in a long time. I don't have a full setup for YouTube. The lighting is horrible in here. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay and see me okay. But Judge Scherer was the judge on the Nicholas Cruz death penalty phase trial. And at the end of that case, she commiserated with the victims and the prosecutors. There were some difficult back and forths between her and defense counsel. And my dad and I did a video on it. If you want to watch the specifics about what happened and multiple deep dives, check out our YouTube channel, Lawyer You Know, because there are some deep dives in there where my dad, who was the former president of the Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, still on and off the board there, a decision maker there in that group, one of the founders, basically, of the Florida Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. And we took issue with a few things that she did. One of them was in her robe, on camera, in the courtroom, hugging the prosecutors. Victims' families, listen, that's a tough case. That's an emotional case. I understand it. I think it would have been better if it didn't happen, while the cameras were still on, while she was still wearing her robe. But, that just something didn't sit right with us. And the president of the FACDL basically said she should be disqualified from future cases. And a lot of people took issue with that, which we understand, okay? Nobody is on the Parkland shooter side, okay? Let's just start there. We are all with the victims. We all stand with the victims, okay? So I just want to start with that and make sure everybody understands that where we're coming from. That has nothing to do with this conversation. This conversation purely has to do with the impartiality of judges. And that's really what we're talking about, is judges should be impartial. Well, there's another case that has just come before Judge Scherer. Randy Tunador is his name. We'll just call him Randy T. He's a prisoner who's been convicted and has a death sentence. Well, he filed a petition seeking some post-conviction remedies, we'll call them, okay? And Judge Scherer is the presiding judge over these post-conviction remedies. Well, he filed, after the Parkland shooter case, he filed a motion to disqualify her. And in case you don't know, when you have a trial court judge and you file a motion to disqualify them, first it goes to them. They make the decision as to whether or not they should be disqualified. And Judge Scherer, unsurprisingly, said no. She did not think that she should be disqualified. So then, Tunador's lawyers sent it up to Florida's Supreme Court. And Florida's Supreme Court took it under advisement. And they just came out with their decision April 13th today. Okay, so this decision came down today, and I've read through it. And I'll jump to the punchline first and the actual decision and conclusion that the Florida Supreme Court came to. And then we'll talk about some of the facts that they referenced throughout their opinion. We conclude that the combination of certain circumstances contained in the allegations in Tunador's motion regarding the actions of Judge Scherer in the Cruz, which is the Parkland shooting case, on November 2nd, 2022, and in Tunador's case on November 4th, 2022, because he had a hearing on his case in front of Judge Scherer, which he alleged that Judge Scherer showed sympathy with the state that was linked to the outcome of another capital case, and that would create in a reasonably prudent person, meaning him, or the standard actually, a well-founded fear of not receiving a fair and impartial proceeding. The crucial facts that together were sufficient to create such a well-founded fear are, these are the crucial facts, but they also mention some other facts that are less crucial, but the crucial facts that were sufficient in the Florida Supreme Court's opinion to disqualify her is that she hugged the assistant state attorney, that is the assistant state attorney in the Parkland shooting case and the assistant state attorney in this case. So does that mean every case that this assistant state attorney has in front of Judge Scherer, that all the defense attorneys should file this same motion and get her disqualified? That's not good for Judge Scherer, and it's not good for this assistant state attorney, which is why that was a big deal. So, the crucial facts. She hugged ASA Klinger by Judge Scherer in the courtroom while still wearing a robe at the conclusion of the Parkland shooter case. And the personal exchange between Judge Scherer and ASA Klinger 2 days later during Tunador's, this defendant's post-conviction proceeding, in which the judge commiserated with Klinger. And again, there are some important points, because it's not just that she felt for the victims. It's not just that she's friends with the prosecutors. Tons of judges are prosecutors, work for prosecutors. Tons of judges are friends with criminal defense attorneys. Tons of judges are friends with civil attorneys. That is not the problem. The problem is, while wearing your robe, the camera's on in the courtroom right after the case is over, you really shouldn't be hugging one side or the other. Now later, if you want to talk to them about the case, or if you want to say that was tough, I understand, it was really difficult, that's totally fine. If you see him at an Inns of Court or an event, that's totally fine. But all the judges that I am friends with would tell me, no way, I can't do, even if I'm good friends with them, they would say, no, I'm not going to come up to you after a trial and shake your hand or give you a hug or, tell you good job over. I've had judges say the lawyers did a really great job throughout this trial, things like that. But it is very interesting. Yes, I am in Cleveland. It is a work trip. I did see, for one of the very rare moments, I saw one of you, a member of our Lawyer community, Heidi, was in the same hotel as I am. And she came up and she said, hey, watch your videos. I was like, that's awesome. It is very rare that I meet somebody that watches my videos. So that was cool. So a shout out to Heidi, who also says she's going to tell her sister, who I think also watches. I don't know Heidi's name. Go to know. Good luck on the LSAT tomorrow. Yeah, so other things that were interesting in this judicial opinion. The court references that the judge did also hug the victims' families, and that the judge made certain comments after the case that seemed like she was siding with the prosecution. So I think it's important for us to realize, it's okay for a judge to think one side is right or wrong, or to think maybe even the jury got it wrong, or to think that justice was not served throughout the process. That's okay for a judge to think. But you shouldn't hug attorneys right after a trial, only one side, in a courtroom with your robe on, and commiserate with them later. And I think that commiserating with the same state attorney later is something that the state attorney or the judge is going to be able to differentiate between their case and every other case, is that they did in fact talk about Tunador's case. So maybe that's going to be one of the differences. So I think I have a couple questions on here. Are you going to visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Norma said. I am not. It is a full business trip. We did some work today, and we've got a mediation tomorrow, so that's not going to happen. Gotta now, LSAT tomorrow, wish me luck. We did that, and I do wish you luck. I have my phone balancing on here. That's one of the other negatives, is I'm trying to balance my phone lighting and all that stuff with Instagram, but we don't do this enough. So I appreciate everybody joining me. I'm going to go for a few more minutes, answer some questions. But I thought this was incredibly interesting. I'm probably going to do some kind of YouTube short and talk about this as well. People are asking for more IG lives. Beach v. Vizia. Yeah, I mean, I could try to do them. I kind of like them for a little bit of a shorter content, not super long. I don't want to do them for 30 minutes or an hour. But it's cool. And I think it's kind of a different group of people get involved, ask questions, things like that. Kimberly, I don't know about that. The judge, so yes, Abby, the judge is now off the case. The Florida Supreme Court has disqualified Judge Scherer from sitting on this portion of Mr. Tunador's post-conviction case. And the main crucial facts were that she was hugging the prosecutor and commiserating with the prosecutor. That's tough. Really tough. Oh, I'm not going to go to Instagram lives exclusively. No, just once in a while, I'll still do them. Yeah, this is like a super secret handshake. But yeah, she is off the case, which to me is very, very interesting. How does the court remedy the removal of judges during proceedings? So these are post-conviction proceedings, so they will just be transferred to another judge's courtroom. Yes, Brooks was back in front of Judge Doro today. We are going to talk about that next week. That is on the agenda for next week. There's one other case. Let me look it up while we have us here. Courtney Clenny, the victim of the OnlyFans murder trial. Their family has sued Courtney Clenny for wrongful death. So we'll talk about that next week as well. How big of a deal, Keely is asking, is that to her personally? It's not good. It's not good because it's okay if you get disqualified from a case as a judge. That's not the end of your career or anything like that. There was a judge that I'm friends with, that we have a certain relationship with, that got disqualified on one of our cases. No big deal. Didn't affect him at all from that. But if other lawyer, I mean, the fact that the FACDL president wrote that letter is not good for her. And the fact that the Florida Supreme Court did disqualify her because of her actions, that's tough. See you, Nicole. Thanks for jumping in. John is not here. I'm on my own tonight. I did tell him I was doing it. Could she eventually be removed from being a judge permanently? Well, yes, that can happen in Florida if she loses an election. But not for something like this. They wouldn't just remove her on all cases. The Florida Supreme Court wouldn't do that. Oh, happy birthday, Nicole. Did not know it was your birthday. Yeah, she's an elected judge. And then I have whatever this is. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's the news for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little impromptu Instagram live. Judges, I don't think they can be sanctioned by the Florida bar, I guess, and they can be reprimanded. They can be punished by the Florida bar. But yes, we're talking about the judge from the Parkland shooter trial, the Cruz trial. Yes, the Parkland one. All right, I'm going to take off. I'm going to get some sleep. Flew up, enjoying our trip, met with our clients. They're amazing people. And we're looking forward to tomorrow. Thanks everybody that joined us. Keep a lookout. The video version of our podcast is coming out tomorrow, and more videos coming out this weekend. And we've got a lot coming next week as well. I appreciate you guys so much. This was fun. It was random. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching another episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the thumbs up and share with your friends who may be interested here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at Tragos Law is our handle. And don't forget to listen to the Lawyer You Know podcast featuring new episodes every week. If you have a case you want to talk to us about, if it's a personal injury case, wrongful death, catastrophic injury, car accident, or slip and fall case, please email us at lawyeryouknow@gmail.com. And of course, all these links I just mentioned are included in the description below on this episode and every episode. So until next time, this is Peter Tragos, the Lawyer You Know.